Hi, my name is Stevie and I like to write songs. With the release of Tom York's new solo album, I've been going down a rabbit hole of listening to Radiohead over the Christmas holidays, and I've been reminding myself how much I love this band. So I thought today it'd be an interesting experiment to have a listen to some Radiohead ideas and see if there's any things about Radiohead that we could steal and incorporate into our own songwriting. So I think it'll be an interesting experiment. So let's try and write a song with some Radiohead elements in it. Let's go. I remember back in the 90s, I was the guy that everyone knew who was into computers and had a CD writer. So a lot of people who would get CDs would lend me the CDs so that I could make copies of them and give them back the copies with the original CD. And one of my neighbours at some time in the 90s brought me round Radiohead, the bands. Now, I recognised Radiohead as that band that did the song Creep. And so I was a bit interested in hearing what they sounded like, and I put on the bands and immediately fell in love with this album. In my opinion, it is in one of my top 10 albums of all time. Every song on it is a banger. And I evangelized about Radiohead to all my friends and got a lot of my friends into Radiohead as well. Normally, I'm like a metal progressive kind of guy, and I suppose Radiohead in some ways are more progressive than some of the so-called progressive bands that I listen to. And that's something that really appealed to me about them. I remember waiting with bated breath for OK Computer to be released, and it did not disappoint. Another absolute masterpiece of an album. By the time Kid A came out, I had sort of lost interest in Radiohead. But those two albums, The Bends and OK Computer, still stand up as two of my favourite albums of all time, outside of the metal genre. So that's where I'm coming from. We're talking about this era, the very popular era of Radiohead. So we'll be looking at some guitar techniques and some songwriting techniques that are in those albums. So let's have a look at my template now and see what I've set up for trying out some of these ideas. So I've set up my usual drum track, and what we have here on the MIDI, we've got perfect drums. I've had a listen to all the snares and tried to change the snare to one that I think sounds a wee bit more Radiohead-ish. So I ended up choosing this Slingerland. It's a bit drier and a bit more sort of small recording studio sounding, which reminds me a wee bit of the way Radiohead's drums sound. So I turned off the usual processing that I have on my kick drum. That's all turned off because I wanted a sort of flatter, more transparent kick drum rather than the clicky, powerful kick drum that I use in metal. But everything else is pretty much the same. I've got my usual compressor on the snare, my usual treatment of the overheads. I've got a video about how this template is already set up, so if you want to see this in more detail, look at that video. And my usual bass guitar setup as well. It's basically just Helix Native, and it's bi-amped. So there's a clean bass guitar with a bit of compression, and then there's a heavy bass guitar that has an amp and distortion and stuff on it. I've set up another couple of instruments that I'm thinking of using because it's Radiohead, like for example this electric piano. So it sounds something like this. So it's this Analog Labs intro, which is a free plugin. It's amazing that it's free because there's so many synth sounds and piano sounds and old vintage keyboard sounds that are available in it, and I just literally love it and use it on almost all my tracks. You know, beautiful sound. So quite Radiohead-ish. I'm planning to do acoustic guitars. There's quite a lot of acoustic guitars in Radiohead stuff. I've already set these up just to be quick. And my usual rhythm guitar, although I have changed my rhythm guitar. So I'm basically going into a Marshall amp, and I've put a Rat distortion pedal in front of it. More of a classic rock kind of sound than I would normally use on some of my tracks. I'm not sure about the Rat distortion yet. It might be a bit heavy for the track, but maybe I'm planning something that's a bit dynamic, that has this electric piano playing in a nice soft verses, and then we kick in with Creep style heavy guitars for the chorus. Don't know. Let's see where it goes. So I've set up another patch as well for the guitar that's quite reminiscent of Radiohead. So on the amp, I'm just using an AC30 with a bit of compression in front of it. There's a nice delay and reverb after it. I'm using the Octo, which pitches the reverb up 1 octave, analog sounding delay. But the most important thing is the whammy pedal that I put in front of it. So it's set to be up 1 octave. So it sounds like this. Line 60 a reasonably good representation of the whammy pedal, because when I do those chords, you get that glitchy digital effect that you can hear on a lot of Radiohead tracks. So I'll definitely be making use of that sound as well. If I remember, I'll put all these patches for Helix Native up on the description, some kind of link to Dropbox or something, and you can play about with these patches yourself if you want. It's quite difficult to come up with a convincing Radiohead style chord sequence. I've been playing about a lot, and I've sort of ended up on G minor and the A flat major. Major 7 might sound nice. Nine. Yep, G minor 9. And the A flat major 7. The G minor 9. Just try and work this into some kind of... I really love that sound of the arpeggio going downwards. That's beautiful. I really like that. Although there's something about this. It reminds me of a song off Kid A. Although I said earlier on that's not really my favourite Radiohead album. This is so nice we can't avoid it. We're definitely going to be using this. Let's see if I can record that. I wonder what tempo we're at. We'll just try it 120 anyway and see. That's probably it. I can tidy that up and then loop it. Right, so basically what I've done here is I've gone into the MIDI editor and I've tidied it up and tried to play about with the dynamics here and just tidy up any bum notes or anything that was slightly out of time. And our final riff is this. So that'll probably form most of the verses, I feel. I want to work some more on the music. By the way, I'm suffering a wee bit from coming around from a cold at the minute, so I don't know if I'll do a lot of singing today because my voice is going to sound shit. I was thinking of maybe doubling this up with something that sounds a wee bit more glitchy and digital. So I'll go on a wee hunt for something that would sound nice along with this and see what I come up with. Right, I found this other Analog Lab sound that's it's like an arpeggiator. And I put a high pass filter onto it so that it's quite top endy and it doesn't have any weird bass notes that are going to interfere too much with the overall piano sound. And all I've done is copied it, exact same thing, down onto the other track. And let's hear what the two of them sound like together. So it's got a very, very subtle kind of digitally glitchiness happening in the background with the arpeggiator and stuff, and it's a bit random. So I kind of like it. It's adding a bit of a Radiohead vibe for me anyway. Radiohead are essentially an indie rock band, very much influenced by bands like Nirvana and stuff like that. So even though they do very progressive arrangements, they always seem to make work for the entire rock band. So you'll always hear drums, electric guitars and acoustic guitars, even in the very electronic stuff. So I was playing about with maybe along with this track. Let's hear that. So some kind of palm mute. I'm sort of, as I'm doing that, I'm sort of thinking it would be good to record the guitars left and right and have those little accents out of sync with each other, so there's a bit of bounce left and right between the acoustic guitars. Right, so we're playing this sort of G minor into A flat major. That kind of feels like it's in C minor. Now, in case you're confused about the chords you're seeing here, I'm in drop C, so even though you can see that I'm playing a D minor, it sounds out as a C minor. So I think maybe that's where we should go. And I'm kind of thinking about one of these types of OK Computer arpeggio style acoustic guitar things. So I play about with something like that. I always like this chord. Right, let's try and get that riff recorded and see what it sounds like. So I think obviously the piano should be still playing along in this section. Right, definitely doing that bass. That's probably a bit hard for me to play. With something up at the top, like chords or something. I'm trying to think, maybe it should be more syncopated or something. Or even like that, not syncopated at all, so that the syncopation of the acoustic guitars gets accented. I'll probably have to do that in 2 passes and do the left hand and the right hand separately. Let's try it. Right, let's tidy that up. Let's hear that. Of course, we need to copy it down onto this track as well. Right, we need drums in there. You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing a big sort of synth bass playing instead of maybe a real bass guitar. Let's see if I can find a synth bass before I put the drums in. Okay, here's a preset for a synth bass that I found. Right. Oh, it's monophonic. Right, let's just put that on. Sounds a bit mad now at the minute without the drums, but it should be cool once we get a good heavy drum beat in. Let's try it. I normally don't do the programming of the drums on camera because I think it's a bit boring, but a few people have asked for it, so I'm going to try and always show this now. So let's see what we're going to put in here. Probably a snare there. Let me see. Right. And a kick drum just before. Maybe a double. And then do these accents on the kick drum. And then, yeah, maybe that with cymbals. But obviously want to have cymbals at the very start as well. So Maybe just one, and I think I might do a flam here on the snare drum. So let's take it up to about 64 and just offset it to the original. Right? Okay, cool. And hi-hat's a ride cymbal. It seems more free-flowing. It seems more like a ride cymbal type of beat. So let's put rides. Let's take it out of 64 again before we do that. Probably quarter notes. What's that sound? Yep, so that'll do as a basic drum loop for now. I'll go back in as the song starts to develop and put more detail and more variations and stuff on the drums. But let's, for now, just leave that as a basic loop. That'll give us something to work off and we can write the rest of the song. Yeah, I like that. I think maybe the synth bass isn't giving me what I want. Maybe we should actually add real bass to it as well. And probably the heavy guitars. Let's see how it feels going from the quieter bit into it. I don't know if this is out of a song because it sounds far too familiar to me, but that I can hear run, 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 run. That's maybe a backing vocal. Run, 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 run. Not sure. Okay, cool. You know what I hear in it? I can hear one of the guitars has a wah wah on it. It's going dun wow, dun 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 wow wow dun wow. Let's see if I can get that kind of effect going. Right, so the first thing we're going to want to do is add a wah wah pedal. Somewhere there. Gonna think maybe colorful. Right, and we want to set up automation for it. So if we go in here and we select position and select knob 1. Then we should be able to go into trim here and set up knob 1. And now we've got a wah here and we can set the position of it. Okay, so let's make the wah wah bigger so that we can have a look at what's happening here. So when we start at 0, we want to go fully open by about here, maybe. Oh, actually, half that speed. Maybe come down halfway by about here. Back up by there. And then we start the loop over again here. So I have my default set to square for some reason. And so I have to manually change these every time. Maybe slower than that. Maybe there. Come halfway. Oh, so that's where it loops there. Try something. Right, okay. So what we can do then is select this. We make this into an automation item, and then we can copy it across to every time the riff repeats. I'm only going to do it on one side so that there's a difference between the left and right guitars. That's cool. That's really cool. Right, the song is really crying out for some lyrics now, and I don't really have any ideas about lyrics at all. I know that there's a sort of a depression, mental health sort of undercurrent in a lot of Radiohead songs. For me personally, I'm quite a happy guy, so it might be a bit pretentious for me to try and write about something that I know nothing about. So I'm at a bit of a loss for how to approach the lyrics. When I'm trying to write a song, I always try and avoid writer's block at all costs. And I think one of the things that causes writer's block is the fear of writing a bad song. So I always avoid that by just go ahead and try and write a bad song and then pick away at it. Is it because the lyrics are bad? Can we improve the lyrics? Is it because the chorus is very predictable? Can we change a chord in the chorus and make it a bit better? And I find that if you write a sort of placeholder song and then go through it and meticulously try and improve all the different elements of it, then you usually end up with a pretty good song. So that's what I'm going to do in this case. I'm going to just write throwaway placeholder lyrics and see if anything pops out that is good, that might be the seed for how we're going to go forward. So we're just going to go on a fishing expedition with these lyrics and just write rubbish lyrics and see if we can come up with anything that spurs us on to write better lyrics. Right, so I listened to the song over and over again and just sang syllables over the top of the song until I worked out some kind of idea for how the vocal melody should go. You can hear that I've got a wee bit hoarse trying it out there. Unfortunately, I don't really have an ability to sound like Tom York when I sing. That's probably why I'm on a small YouTube channel and not playing at Glastonbury. These lyrics are just placeholders. We'll see if we can come up with a concept for the lyrics at some stage in the future. But just to get something down so that we can hear what it sounds like. So I'll try and record that now, and we'll see where we are.
Please check your phone, messages from home. I'd be a stranger, check in when you can. Where have all the people gone? 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 Please check your phone, messages from home. I'd be a stranger, check in when you can. Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone?
I'm kind of a bit underwhelmed overall with it at the minute. That really did hurt my voice. I shouldn't be singing when I've got a cold. We need some more effects. We need to sort of build up the atmosphere and depth of the song, I think. Sort of feel that this bit here is lost. It's a bit one-dimensional. Maybe we should try and put in like a big sort of resonating reverb or something in that bit and see if that helps us. There is a reverb here that I've been trying out recently that I really love. Let's see if I can find it. It's called Solaris. It's a free reverb. That's already doing some very cool things to that sound. Let's have a look at some of the presets, see if we can find a preset that I like. Bloody hell. We'll try and listen to a few more presets, but I don't think we're going to get any bigger than that. That's nice, that one too. Right, so just to cut to the chase, I went through all the presets and this Smooth Shimmer is the nicest one. You know how I was talking about how we have to go and search for some kind of idea for a concept for the lyrics? Well, as soon as I opened up this reverb, it's called Solaris, which reminds me of one of my favourite films. It's the George Clooney film, Solaris. I started thinking that might be a cool concept for a Radiohead-style song, because in this movie, the George Clooney character goes to a space station where they have made contact with a superior alien intelligence. Now, this intelligence finds it very difficult to communicate with humans, a bit like us trying to communicate with ants. And so the way it tries to communicate is by bringing back people out of your memory. This drives George Clooney completely insane because he knows that when he's speaking to his ex-wife, it's not actually his ex-wife, it's his memory of her. And he keeps feeling that if he could remember her better, she could be more realistic. And it makes him grieve even more for the death of his wife because now he remembers that all the little details about her, he's forgotten them. And so when he sees this facsimile of his wife, he can see that she doesn't have all the little forgotten details about her personality that George Clooney doesn't remember anymore. Now, I could probably write a book of lyrics about this. So I think we're really on to something with the lyrics. So I think I'm going to end up calling the song Solaris and make the lyrics about this relationship that George Clooney has with the memory of his wife and the uncanny facsimile that the alien intelligence presents him with. Well, I hope so anyway. I'm sort of excited about that idea. I think it might make really good lyrics. So for now, let's get back to the music again, and then maybe next week we'll start into writing the Solaris lyrics. I think this whole thing sounds a wee bit stale at the start. We need to add more of the sort of typical over effects driven lead guitar things that would be in a Radiohead song. Let's see what we can find. I also think there should be maybe some kind of sound effect here at the start. Some kind of building up crescendo type noise or something before that comes in. So I'll go on a hunt again. This is a really good plugin that I've been playing about with recently. It's from a YouTuber. The YouTube channel is called Venus Theory. And it's a free plugin as well, so definitely check that out. And definitely check out the Venus Theory YouTube channel because it's a really good channel and I get a lot of things that are very interesting from that. So I played about with this for a while and I ended up putting on this free delay as well, Deelay. It's really good because it's got a sort of chaos kind of setting on it. So what I came up with for the sound is this. That's good. That's like the kind of effect you might hear at the start of one of the songs on Radiohead, The Bends. But I also think that after that then, this is all about stale. I might try something with this Deelay plugin on a guitar and see if I can come up with anything with that. I'm going to set it at a really random setting. Crazy. I love that sound. It's really amazing. I just sort of stumbled upon it. Let me show you how I set it up. So in the first place, I just set up a pretty clean Marshall amp. Sounds like this. Okay, so not much to write home about, just an amp and a cab. Very simple. And then I've used this free delay plugin. I found this preset called In the Net. It's quite crazy. When I play a single note on the guitar, I get that. I've been playing about with it, and what I think sounds best is, you remember at the start when we started this chord sequence, we sort of were implying a G minor 9 into an A flat major 7. Well, the minor 9 isn't really coming through at all, so I'm going to be playing an A note, which is going to give me that minor 9 sound, and then fall down to the A flat for the second chord. So, sounds something like this. Let's have a go at recording that. It sounds really cool.
Please check your phone. Messages from home. Don't be a stranger. Check in when you can. Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone?
I love the wee glitchy thing at the end when it goes silent. And try and make maybe some kind of use of that in the song as well. Right, so I think we've probably done enough for today, because I'm really going to have to take a break from it now and start trying to come up with some concepts and ideas for the lyrics. But I'm really excited about this Solaris idea. I think this will be very emotionally coherent with the song. In fact, this really messed up guitar line that I just recorded is sort of informed by my Solaris idea for the lyrics, because that kind of electronic, oppressive sound is something I associate with the soundtrack of Solaris. I think we're on to something now. I think whenever we get the lyrics and the vocal melody fleshed out in the next episode, I think it should be pretty cool. Let's hear what we done today.
Please check your phone. Messages from home. Don't be a stranger. Check in when you can. Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone? Where have all the people gone?
Okay, it's one of those things where I'm not sure if it's really good or really, really rubbish. I can't really tell, because it's so odd and unusual what I've just made. It's only about just over a minute of music, but we'll use this as a seed and we'll move forward and we'll see what we come up with. It's definitely unusual anyway. It's definitely got a very odd sound to it. All right, guys, so that's enough recording for today. This weekend, my best mate is getting married in May, so I'm heading off to Spain for a stag party. Oh, the only fly in the ointment about that is they don't do good Guinness in Spain, so it's going to have to be lager, but we'll soldier on. So when I come back from Spain, we'll have a look at this song again and I'll see if I can write these Solaris lyrics. No doubt it'll be on my mind all weekend anyway. In the back of my mind, it'll be fermenting and we'll see what we can come up with. Particularly in the chorus, I would like to do something a wee bit more Radiohead-ish in the chorus rather than just repeating a line 4 times. And I want to try and get down to the crux of the emotional way that the George Clooney character feels in the movie. So that should be good. Thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I look forward to hearing any ideas, comments you have before next Monday, and I'll see if I can incorporate some of those ideas into the song going forward. I love it when there's a bit of interaction and I get to feed off some of your ideas and some of your suggestions. That's really cool. So keep the comments coming. Let me know how you think I'm doing so far. Also, reassure me about this song because at the moment, I'm very, very unsure about it. I don't know if it's good or bad. I can't really make up my mind about it because it's got a kind of annoying sound to it. And the jury's out as to whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let me know. Looking forward to hear your comments. And don't forget, like and subscribe and stuff like that. Help my channel to grow. Spread the word about any other songwriters you think might be interested in watching it. Thanks so much, guys. You guys rock.